We got that first poll on September the 16th or 17th. I've been a grassroots activist and a working mom, and I'm not a political strategist. And it came out, and we were at 3%, and I kind of thought, man. Penny called, she was jumping for joy. And I was like, 3%, Penny? And she said, honey, you don't understand. You ought to be so far off the radar screen that nobody's picking you up. Well, she was absolutely right, because the media got it, the pundits got it, the political strategists got it, and the phone started ringing off the hook. Oh my God, you're at 3%. You got enough to change the outcome of this race. People are going to be calling you. You're going to be making offers. And I thought, I can't wait. I can't wait. Come make me an offer. If you think that I'm going to roll over. I had a guy from Dallas call, and he said, Deborah, I'm on my way back to Plano. I've been in Austin in meetings all day. He said, I want you to know that I'm in Austin quite often, and 3 or 4 months ago, nobody who knew who you were. Everybody knows who Debra Medina is today. And I've told him, in fact, he said, I've been told that offers have been made. And I said, well, no, Dave, I haven't had any offers yet. He said, well, I told them if they thought that they were going to make an offer to you, they better think real hard about what they do. She's not the typical candidate. She is not looking for a feather. She's not looking for a cush job. She's not looking to get out of this race. That's right. I'm going to win this race, and Texas is going to be free. We're at 7%, 5 weeks. Some of you math geniuses out there, that's a pretty hefty increase, isn't it? 100 and some odd percent in 5 weeks. We got November, December, January, and February. We need 350,000 votes in the state of Texas, and we get in the runoff. We need about 400,000 votes and we win, and we don't have to have a runoff, and that'd probably be okay. Would that not shock the country? Someone said earlier tonight, you know, we need money to run this campaign. We do. I say all the time, if you can help with that, if you find yourself in a financial position where you can help us financially in this campaign, I would really appreciate that very much. It is pretty stressful trying to figure out how we're going to use the limited resources that we have to really mobilize all across the state of Texas. I feel like we're a bunch of short order cooks, because we got volunteers at the window every day saying, I need food, I need food. They are wanting campaign materials and tell us what to do, and we don't have enough cooks in the kitchen to give the food to people that are hollering for, please tell me. I cannot manage thousands of volunteers by myself, and they are calling every day, tell me how to run. And I told an audience in Pasadena this afternoon, this is a decentralized grassroots campaign. You want to run a Debra Medina campaign for governor, get out there and get after it. Build a campaign in Sugar Land, build one in Conroe, build one in Pasadena, build one in Baytown, build Debra Medina campaigns all over the state of Texas, and get this woman elected so that we restore freedom and prosperity in Texas. That'd be all right with me. It would be really all right with me if we did that with very little money. I have no problem leaving your money in your pocket. But the reality is we need some help in that area. If you can help in that way, and then everything you can do to remind the media every opportunity you have that this campaign is an important campaign, and it's one that they better be paying attention to and they better be talking about. We're at 7% today. I expect that you'll see 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8% bumps every month for the next couple months. You're going to see a competitive race come March. You're going to see a competitive race come March. I'm going to take 5 minutes and talk to you about the economic situation in Texas. I've talked about big ideas, sweeping ideas: secure property, restore state sovereignty, secure our borders. Let's talk about where we are in Texas, because we've been lied to in Texas, and you need to know the scope and the extent of that lie. We've got a republic here in the state of Texas. We've got 3 branches of government here, just like we do at the federal level: an executive, a judiciary, a legislature. We've got a number of people in the executive branch. We've got the governor and the lieutenant governor and the comptroller and the attorney general and the secretary of state, and they form the executive branch of the great state of Texas. The governor is the CEO, if you will. Most CEOs, most of you in business will know, give an annual report to the shareholders. And I think the governor's been a little bit disingenuous. In fact, if he was the CEO of your for-profit corporation, you'd probably run him out on a rail or he'd be in jail, because he's been telling you that we have a balanced budget. And most of you think we do. Here's where we are in Texas. We spend every dime that we take in. Our debt was $12 billion in 2000. On August 31st, 2008, it was $31.3 billion. It has nearly tripled in 8 years. You spend every dime you make, you triple your debt. Balanced? The bigger problem probably in Texas is that we have a constitutional debt limit ceiling. That constitutional debt limit says the state of Texas cannot spend more than 5% of its revenue to retire its debt. We're at 4.27% today. Our payments on that $31 billion eat up 4.27% of our state revenue. If I cut spending in government, you cut spending, you cut revenue. We lower revenue and we're over our constitutional debt limit ceiling. What kind of a fix is that? We need to cut spending, we need to cut the state's revenue, and it's going to throw us over our constitutional debt limit ceiling. We are so far in debt in Texas that if we do not take on another dime of debt, the amortization schedule for the debt we have says we will get out of debt in 2047. See, you didn't know that. You can't make good decisions for your business or for your family if you're not given honest information about the state of your state. The governor doesn't write the budget, but he gives the report to the shareholders of the state of Texas. And when he shows up at the Greater Houston Partnership and says, "What recession?" he needs to be run out on a rail. We're at a 30-year all-time high unemployment rate in Texas. We've got $31 billion worth of debt that has tripled in the last 8 years, and we are bumping up against our constitutional debt limit ceiling. What kind of conservative fiscal management is that? And it's been on Rick Perry's watch that that's happened. That in and of itself is not necessarily the crime, but coming to you and telling you that everything is fine and Texas is doing great. Texas is in better condition, but we are not doing things significantly different from what California did. And if we don't want to be bankrupt California, we better mend our ways. It's time for new leadership in Texas. That sounds like doom and gloom, but let me remind you, when we fight on state sovereignty, when we push Washington back on health care and on energy and on agriculture, we get government off the back of the Texas entrepreneurs and business people. We will not have an economic crisis in this state. I look forward to working with you in that regard. I appreciate your time and attention tonight. Thank you. It's a privilege to talk with you.